Good evening, everybody, and welcome tonight to round 9 of 10 here in One Hub Racing. My name is Sam, and I am joined alongside Daniel, otherwise known as V8 Field.
Hello Sam, great to be back here in the commentary box with you. Hello everyone. Cannot wait for the British Grand Prix, of course, a favourite track to many, and it is the iconic circuit that started it all the way back in 1950, 70 years ago.
Yeah, and 26 laps will be how many laps we're doing tonight with the mandatory two stop, of course. And Silverstone, it's a, like you said, it's a fan favourite for many. A lot of people do enjoy this track, but it's definitely not one of the easiest tracks, is it?
Oh no, absolutely. There's a lot of places where you can really be thrown off, and a lot of places where you have to go full commitment to get it perfectly. What comes to mind is cops. You can either lift off and take it nice and safe, or you can absolutely go flat out, risk spinning out. But if you just nail it perfectly, you could be incredible through there. Same with the Maggots and Beckett's complex. It is an absolutely brilliant and challenging track. I'd have it to say it's my favourite one, I believe.
Yeah, and it is definitely up there with one of my favourites. However, last week though, in Canada, sorry, not Canada. Where were we last week? We were in Australia. Sorry about that. We saw Gus win out again this season, and then to take home the One Hub Prospect Tier Championship. However, that is not the only thing we're fighting for tonight, and for the season anyway. The season's not over just yet. We've still got the battle for second place between Aaron JS, Truth NLP, and Nikki as well. But are all those guys here? Let's just take a quick check. Yes, they are. I believe I saw Aaron JS. Yes, I did. So all guys are here tonight, and well, it seems unlikely for Nicky really, because he is over a race win behind and with 2 races to go. However, Nicky is now a race winner in One Hub Racing, but we're still yet to see a race win from Truth. Do you think tonight could possibly be the night?
Well, that is, of course, circumstantial. If Gus doesn't run away with it and absolutely dominate, then I think Truth really does have a good chance. He's been pretty consistent in the upper reaches of the races. You know, he's been always in the top 5, top 6, and then we've seen him get a podium on a couple of occasions. So he's done really well this season. I think he'd be quite confident, but I'd be more worried if I were Aaron JS about Nicky, because last week he absolutely stole the show with his charge through the field, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and we have 2. Well, we don't have any new drivers, I don't believe. We do have one new driver. That is Craig Senna, in the Renault. I can't remember who he's replacing, but he's replacing someone in that Renault. However, in the Red Bull, we do have Gazaman and Rantard Amami. If anyone doesn't know who he is, I mean, let's just guess for a minute. Is this a new driver or is this Cloudy? Yes, this is Cloudy, and we've got to get used to another new name that we barely can pronounce. Like, we've gone through so many with him, and, you know, we'll come back next week. There'll be a new one where we'll be discussing whether it's him or not. But anyway, that is him, and we also have VRT Storm, who was VRT Lightspeed last week. So a few guys changing names, which is a little bit annoying for us. However, they are the same drivers. I believe there is no new drivers despite Craig Senna in the Renault. So it shouldn't be too hard for us, Daniel, really, to remember or get familiar with these guys.
Well, in the case of the Red Bull man, Rantaro, I think is how you say it. Now, we won't be seeing it next week. We'll be seeing someone else, but it is probably definitely going to be Cloudy Balloons. Of course, Rantaro, and was Quark VLR last week, but he's already changed his name, which is it's a little bit frustrating. But you know, we just got to deal with it. He's not going to change his name just for the sake of One Hub, so we got to make do with what we've got. And I don't know if he's here yet. He might have just joined. No, that was URT MFC Boy 2020.
Don't get me wrong. I believe that's Wide Load Billy, I think. But there's another driver who's just changed his name. I didn't even realise he changed his name until now. But I guess that's another driver name that we had to get used to. And I'm not going to lie, that's probably one of the worst. Because, you know, I guess we could just call him MCFC Boy, but that doesn't sound good. But then we can't really call him URT because it doesn't really make sense either way. So if we are on board with him, I'm sure it's fine if we can just call him Billy, perhaps? I don't really know. We'll have to just think about that one. But yeah, probably not the most easiest one, if I'm being completely honest. It looks like we are about to get underway. Just before we do, Daniel, I'm going to go through the drivers' press conference. Called up to the stand this week was GR Bruma, and did the move to prospect tier give you extra motivation? You've been doing quite well there, and he responded with, obviously doing well motivates me. I feel that in prospect I can finally show my true pace and racecraft. It's fun, and there are some really good drivers in prospect as well. So obviously he has been doing well, Bruma, but he's still yet to get that win this season. And do you reckon this could be one where he is eyeing up that win, or do you think that we could be looking at a different driver tonight, obviously excluding the obvious choice of what many people would be thinking of?
Well, if I'm not wrong, Bruma's actually not in the session today, so I'm not seeing his name unless he has changed it as well. But he's certainly done outstandingly in his few races. I believe he joined for USA, if I'm not mistaken. And he's taken pole position after pole position. He's done really well for himself. But for the teams, it was Alfa Romeo most kind of related to prospect tier. The question was dominant performance in prospect tiers, but other tiers seem to be struggling a bit more, looking for new talent to join the team next season. And the Alfa Romeo team principal said it's been difficult, but we've learnt lessons from some of our guys, and we have our eyes on a couple guys next season. Could one of those guys be Gus?
I wonder.
The championship winner.
I wonder, of course, the championship winner, and of course Alfa Romeo would be digging their heels in to keep him in the team. However, I'm sure this will be eyeing up some of the top teams, including Mercedes, Ferrari, and of course Red Bull, who will be looking to snatch up the Alfa Romeo driver. We've come into qualifying right now, and it is nice and sunny here, Daniel. Few clouds in the sky, and I don't think there's any rain in sight for now.
Yeah, it's just looking nice and sunny. It's quite the opposite of well, at least where I've been living. It's been quite the opposite of that there, because it's just been rain after rain, rainy day after rainy day. It's a nightmare, but it's good to see in Silverstone at least it's all okay. I believe we've got a Williams car coming out first. That's either Kingen, and I believe it is Kingen, in that Williams car, of course, their home Grand Prix.
Yeah, and a lot of teams have their home Grand Prix. Let me just change my split a little bit, but yeah, it is a lot of cars who have their home Grand Prix here today. Of course, we do include, of course, some of the teams who have their bases here. You've got to think Mercedes have their base here. I believe Racing Point do, of course. Renault have a base here in Enstone, of course, but they're a French team. But teams that will be representing the British flag, though, however, is Racing Point. It does say Red Bull, but I swear Red Bull do go under Austria now. However, it does say that they are a British team, so I will go with that. McLaren, of course, have their home Grand Prix here, and of course, as you said, Williams as well. And we always know Williams, don't we, really, for being the back row of the grid in real life. But in One Hub, Williams has had a lot of success, but here in the prospect tier, that is not the case. They are sitting bottom of the standings, and well, they only have 11 points, and they're quite far off Haas, who are ahead of them.
Yeah, it really is unfortunate for the Williams team, considering their history in real-life F1, but they are kind of playing the role of that real-life team in prospect here. So maybe Kingen and Storm can bring the team up the field, maybe score some double points. I think that'd be their goal today. But I believe we've just got Kingen beginning on his lap, and he'll be the first one to start us out here today.
Yeah, and then flying into turn 1 should be nice, easily flat out. A little lift there, which you don't see too often from that first corner. Into turn 2 and 3, and into turn 4 then. And then obviously out of here, you go under a bridge on a DRS straight, and then into Luffield. I believe Brooklands as well. My knowledge has completely gone sour. However, going into the next 2 corners and through the long right-hander of Luffield then, and Kingen looking a little bit lost at the moment, not really knowing when to get the traction down. However, he's looking alright, and now we go into turn 8 now, and oh, it's a full lift there. I think there's a little bit of braking there. Kingen needs to be more aggressive through those corners. Now through the famous Maggots and Beckett's. This is one that I'll easily know and remember. However, Kingen has definitely not. And oh my goodness. I hope he's alright in that Williams, because that looked nasty.
He did a complete somersault there, and that is going to put a swift end to his qualifying session on his opening lap. It wasn't the most impressive lap coming out from him there, but it's so unfortunate. He's going to now have to start surely down all the way in, P17 are all the drivers on the grid at the moment. But you've got APX Rogue just coming through the Vel chicane, so he'll be the first one to put in a lap for us. And what is the time going to be to beat? It's going to be a 25.4. It's a respectable banker time, but Astronauti and Truth, I think Astronauti actually backed off. Or he lost a bit. I didn't know that Truth was ahead of him.
Oh, well, I didn't know that either, but Astronauti slots his car into second. You said he backed off a little bit there. Interesting there from that, because his time seemed alright. How is a Salty Bear doing? I need to get over to the dashboard. I'm now over there. Gus Fring, of course, who would have known? He's got 2 purple sectors through Sector 1 and Sector 2. Your respectable champion here in one hub. Not exactly the best line through Stowe. And then through the last 2 corners, then we go. How will his time be? He's got pole anyway. It didn't look like he'd used the limit of the track personally, but it's still a good lap from Gus.
Yeah, but according to Tass, he actually went a little bit slower than Rogue in the in the final sector there. He was about a tenth off, or just maybe half a tenth, so it wasn't much loss from Gus there in the final sector. He definitely has time in that lap to improve, but he nailed the first and second sector, so that put him about 3/10 clear at the top, and it was a really impressive lap time from Gus.
Well, only 5 guys have done qualifying, but we're seeing a little bit more of the same at the moment. Gus on provisional pole, but we still got just under 13 minutes left of this session. Aaron JS though is on a lap right now. Anybody else ahead of him? Perhaps there is a Haas ahead of him. That would be indecisive. How is his lap going? He's got a Renault behind, not a Renault, a Red Bull behind him. Which one was that? Was that Gaza? Yes, it was. So Gaza getting a little bit of dirt. Yeah, going a little wide here. So this is going to really put some conflict into his lap, and it showed there. P4 for Gazaman then. Back with Aaron JS then. He's coming through Stowe corner now. And is he going to invalidate? No, he's not. Going through the final 3 corners. And let's see how he can navigate these corners. Has he navigated it well? Out of the final corner, it's a 0.2. So not enough to beat Gus. But he's the times are definitely going down, and he has got closest so far.
Yeah, and that really does show that Gus is beatable, and he is in fact human. But yeah, it was a nice time coming out there from Aaron JS. We got Stevie Hart on a lap. Never mind, he's invalidated, and he's gone a little bit slowly here, coming through cops. But I don't know if there's any other cars on a lap, so to say, unless my eyes are playing tricks on me. Ooh, what's happened there?
That was Billy going through the first corner, almost sliding the car completely. I believe he's still going to continue with his lap though, as he still continues to keep it in hot lap mode. We'll just see with the DRS. He's a little shaky off the exits of the corner. Maybe suggesting that he is learning an assist off perhaps of traction maybe. I don't know. But he comes now through Brooklands and Luffield. Let's see how he takes his corners. Nice and wide there. How about the exit? Is the exit alright? Seems decent enough to me. Going through here, he's just turning the car, navigating it pretty well through the corners. And now through Cop's corner then, very difficult. Do not lift, no need to lift. And you know what, he's done that pretty well, I must say. Now through Magnussen Beckett, this is difficult. Line your car up nice and well into the corners. Hitting all apexes is important. Doesn't hit that last one, but I think he'll get away with that. DRS, it took him a little while to open that one. And that sector 2, perhaps not the best, but Billy right now, of course, on a personal best because he's not setting a lap. Through Stoke corner, he's taking it very, very deep there through there. And now for the final few corners, how is he going to take these? And, well, he's invalidated, unfortunately, and I think he had Senna in the way, who's just about to start his lap.
Yeah, so I guess we can take you on a lap with the new guy coming through turn number 1 now and up towards the next couple of corners. Pretty nice line through there from Craig Senna, of course. Now up towards Village and onto the Wellington Straight. Let's see how he nails this exit. He's done it alright. He's got the power down early and now up towards the Armco. He's a bit late on the DRS there. That's going to lose him crucial amount of time. Now under the Emirates Armco and into Brooklands comes the Renault car. Of course, his debut race this season in Prospect here and up towards Luffield now. Take it nice and wide and unfortunately he hasn't really hit the late apex that you should be hitting there, but shouldn't affect him too much. And up towards Woodcote and now of course the old turn number 1 before I believe 2010 or 2012 or something like that. He's got a little bit of a slide on there and he's going to go off and he's lost his wing.
Oh, well, he's lucky, though, because we obviously saw what happened with King, and, of course, that was further up. However, it definitely can happen to any driver at any point, and, well, I would consider Craig there a little bit lucky, and he may have got in the way of Billy there. I believe Billy was on an in-lap anyway, but he may have been on one, and, well, that would have been a bit annoying for Billy, but... who else is on a lap then? Where is Truth? Truth is coming through the exit now of Maggots and Beckett's now onto the straight under the bridge. DRS not open, so I'm suggesting he has backed off from his lap. And I'm going to live with that one because he's now coming into the pits, I believe. So, yeah. Who we got next? Jamie Metz at the moment, who announced obviously earlier this week that he will be retiring after this season for good from One Hub Racing and obviously focusing on the management side of the league, I believe. So unfortunate to see Jamie go, of course, but he has always been in One Hub's heart for a long time as he comes through the final corner, and a 27.5, that's probably not the lap he would have wanted.
Yeah, well, it's going to be sad to see Jamie retiring, and we won't be seeing him on track next season, but he does an absolutely cracking job at managing the league, so him dedicating more time to doing that is only going to mean that One Hub's going to get better and better, so I really do commend Jamie for he's going to try and bow out in style, and hopefully for the last 2 rounds he can have a nice couple of performances for him.
Yeah, well, he's down in 11th right now, so he would be wanting to improve that lap, but I bet you he already knows where to make up time. Nicky, though, going through Sector 2 right now. Purple. That's a purple Sector 2, yep. And let's see how he takes Sector 3. We knew Gus wasn't exactly great through Sector 3. I'm not sure who's got the purple there. That would be Apex Rogue. I'm not sure how he took it. And Nicky looking quite strong through there. How does he tie up the last 2 corners? I tell you what, traction's down nice and early. Nicky is looking on for it. And you know what? That's pole position by 6/10 at the moment.
He's really come out of nowhere with that time. Nicky, he's really had a meteoric rise this season. Of course, getting his first win, I think that's just given him all the confidence in the world, and he has absolutely been dominating this last half of the season. Of course, he didn't pick up the win in Australia, but you know what? He is going to be a strong contender for the win this race, and he could also snatch 2nd place late on in the championship when Aaron JS looked like he was going to be certain for that position.
Yeah, well, Aaron JS does know that he'll be under pressure if Nicky does put in a good performance tonight. Aaron JS sitting in 3rd place right now, so I would say that's quite comfortable for him, since he does only lose, obviously, 10 points, say, if the qualifying results right now were to reflect the race. However, a Salty Bear spins the car out of that corner there, and there's a Haas going through, but I think he'll be a bit threatened by Nicky there, because Nicky has shown he has a really strong pace at the moment.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Of course, his performance in Canada and Australia was something to be in awe of, and I think that is just going to improve even more throughout in this Grand Prix, being 6/10 clear of the man who's won the championship with 3 rounds. That is quite something from Nicky there. So really going to be threatening coming into this one. Of course, he's going to come into the pits. We're going to start to see some guys just fitting on their final set of soft tyres, and they're going to start to come out for their final run, but we've still got a couple guys on some laps at the moment. The one who's pushing at the moment seems to be Gazzaman, of course, Gaz Stappen. He didn't have a really good position last week out from what I remember, but he's in a pretty good place at the moment in this qualifying. Of course, only 0.04 of a second up on his previous time, so it won't see him jump any positions unless he has a monster final sector. Now coming through Stowe corner, pretty much almost flat out once you get off the brakes. I guess that corners, but now into the Vale chicane and up towards Club corner and onto the start finish straight. Here comes Gazzaman through the final corner now. What's he going to do? Is he going to improve? He does improve to jump Zach though.
Yeah, no position changes, but he is one of many here tonight who have got their home race. Of course, we are looking at quite a few names who've got their home race tonight. We are looking at Aaron JS, Jamie Met, Alex Lilliard, Zach Jarvis, Gazaman, Cork, or Cloudy, or whatever the other one was.
Rantaro.
Wide Billy, or URTM CFC Boy 2020, but I'm just going to call him Billy because that's how I know him anyway. Indecisive and Lightspeed, so quite a lot of names on the grid here that are British, but we've also got a Swiss driver, 2 Americans, an Irish driver, a Brazilian, a Finnish driver, a French driver, a couple of Irish drivers in fact, and a Swedish driver and a Dutch driver, so some good variation on the grid, but majorly we do have a lot of Brits.
Yeah, it was always pretty much a British dominated sport. You're probably going to see more British drivers on the grid than ever. Though in 2018 we had quite a lot of Frenchies on the grid, which I thought was quite interesting to see. But yeah, so many British drivers in this division, so they're all probably having laughs down the pub once lockdown and the season is over. I'd hope that, because, you know, it's just a nice kind of warm vibe between all these guys. I bet they all get along and they'd have a great drink together.
Oh, of course, that's if they want to treat this obviously unprofessionally. Of course, if you want to treat this professionally, you don't want to go and have a pub, have a beer down the pub, of course, because if you're racing, you don't drink and drive. However,
yeah.
VRT Storm at the moment coming through the final few corners, coming through Stowe corner, now into the final few corners. It's not the greatest of laps from Storm, I must say, but I feel like it could be just about a decent one as he comes through the final corner. That's not a lap you'd probably thinking is his final.
Yeah, but he's not got much time to come back into the pit lane. He is trying to learn no traction control, so I guess we do have to give it to him in that regard. So he will be kind of tiptoeing around the lap, and he wouldn't be at his full pace, but yeah, not a good lap time from him if he wants to improve. And Astronaut, has he had a crash somewhere, Astronauty?
Oh,
I can see a Ferrari off at turn number 2 there.
Wow, that's a massive crash if he's had one, because out of there you don't really see cars crashing there anymore, but he seemed to have found a way to do so. I'm gone on board with Craig Senna right now, as I believe he's the furthest on his lap. He will be the next one to come across the line, I believe, unless Apex Rogue is the one coming across the line. I don't believe it is, though. No, it shouldn't be. Anyway, so he's coming through Magus and Beckett's right now, and he's doing a very good job, but is he going to get that sort of name? Oh, he's late on the DRS again. Is he going to get that name of what obviously a certain other Senna had? Not obviously the one more modern, but the one that we've seen in the 80s and the 90s, winning championships and, of course, becoming a great success. Or will we see a different sort of Senna, perhaps like his cousin Bruno Senna? Let's see across the line. He's up to 5th, so decent there from the Renault driver.
Yeah, not actually a bad lap time, considering how late he was on the DRS, but he's not going to be able to get back into the pit and fit on a new set of tyres. So I think that is going to be his final run. So yeah, it's going to be crunch time for some of these guys. I think we're going to start to see some final laps coming out. One of those, I think, is for Zach Jarvis is pushing at the moment. He seems to be one of the highest up drivers on a lap at the moment, so we might follow him around the circuit. He's a little bit up on his time, almost the 10th up. That could see him jump up a good few positions if he nails the final sector. Now coming through Stowe corner, and the fast right-hander is bygone, and you could run it really wide out of that corner. Of course, on the last game you can't do so anymore, so he's going to keep it nice and tight through the Bell chicane. And now opening up onto the stop finish straight, could we see Craig into the top 5, and he actually goes 4th place for him. So nice time from the McLaren man.
Yeah, it's not Craig, that was Zach, actually.
Yeah,
what? We always forget, but it is actually the other one. It's not Craig, it's Zach, so 2 really real names you don't really see too often, but yeah, that is Zach Jarvis into 4th place. Truth NRP, I believe, is one of the next across the line. Have I got that right or wrong? I believe that's Nicky coming through to start his lap. There he is, right at the death as well. But Truth is going to be the first one to finish a lap. This is an important lap for Truth. He needs to improve on this lap and get closer to, well, his championship rivals for second place. Has he gone and done that? He has, but possibly not where he wanted to be.
Yeah, only 6th place for Truth, but Nicky, getting out that late is going to be absolutely crucial for him. He's going to have the clearest track and the most rubbered in circuit out of anyone. He's got an Alfa Romeo car of Gus just up ahead of him, so both these guys really have timed their runs perfectly. But I think we could see a situation where Gus could take it at the very death, and then out of nowhere, Nicky just comes out, bangs in a 22.3. I don't know what Nicky is capable of, but I think these two could have an incredible scrap at the end.
Yeah, and Gazman comes across the line to finish his lap and get a 25.5, stays in 7th place, or has moved up to 7th place, but that was where he was last time we saw him. Where are the top 3 now? Here is Aaron JS, he'll be the first, then it will be Gus, and then it will be Nicky. So Aaron JS coming across the line, it looks like a good lap, and he's up to 2nd place. Gus is next across the line, he's down on his time, and I tell you something now, that is not what you want to see. Sector 3 isn't exactly the most technical, so not much time to find. He's gone and pushed it though, up to 2nd place. Does Nicky improve his time though? No, he does not. But Nicky gets pole position, Gus in 2nd, Aaron in 3rd, and that is qualifying complete.
Well, another brilliant performance from Nicky. Sees him on the front row of the grid, and it's a bit of a mirror of what we saw in France, Gus and Nicky being the top 2, and of course that was a brilliant race. In the end it did see Gus triumph, so it could be a little bit of a flashback for Nicky, and he's going to want to have a proper fight with Gus. Of course, he lagged out in Canada, managed to get back in, and then a true show of sportsmanship, Gus let him back by, but I think that Nicky would really want a fight for this one, so it's going to be an incredible race here, I believe.
Yeah, and Gus obviously definitely will be feeling the pressure now. This is probably one of the few times he hasn't got pole position here. However, Nicky would definitely be set on to get that second one hub victory of not just the season but of his career. He's 2 tenths clear of Gus and almost 3 tenths clear of Gus on that side of things, but Aaron in 3rd and Zach Jarvis in 4th. That's an interesting one. Have we really seen Zach that high up this season, or is that probably one of the first times?
Oh, well, I've always seen Zach floating around in the points, but 4th place in qualifying, not being too far off the leaders, is actually a really good qualifying session from the McLaren driver, so I would be really pleased if I were him. My voice is going all a bit croaky, so I might have to just mute myself for a minute, have a drink of water, and then come back and not have it all cracking, so I'll just be back in a moment.
Well. It hits people like a rock, doesn't it? However, obviously, we'll be underway for the for the 9th round of One Hub in a minute. Nicky on pole position and Gus in 2nd place. That is a really good front row there. Aaron in 3rd. So all the top 3 have been race winners this season, and they're the only 3 race winners this season. Zach in 4th, Apex Rogue 5th, Truth in 6th, Gazaman starting in 7th as he looks to impact well. Craig Senna on his debut in 8th, Astronauty 9th, and A Salty Bear taking out the top 10. Now, we do know about A Salty Bear. He has actually been quite quick this season. However, he has made a lot of mistakes. However, we do know that points are going to be necessary right now. Well, the Mercedes team are definitely feeling in the same boat as the Alfa Romeo team. They're not exactly too well, but the Alfa Romeo team looks like they're going to wrap up the constructors.
Yeah, it's almost uncertain at this point, and Salty Bear really just needs to be the rear gunner. He's got to stay out of trouble like he has in previous rounds and rely on Gus to get the major points. And it looks like it's nice and sunny out again in Silverstone, so I don't think we're going to be plagued by any rain today, which is always good to see, because I find that dry races tend to be better than wet races. Everyone seems to keep it on circuit, make less mistakes, and actually have closer racing. So I think it's going to be a brilliant one today. Everything's falling into place, isn't it?
Yeah, people do like to fight, and many people seem to be a bit cautious, especially in the lower tiers, to be a little bit more cautious with the wet conditions. With it dry though, everyone obviously has done their practice in the dry pretty much all times, and well, interestingly, I'm looking in that Mercedes garage, someone is looking at the hard tyres for one of their stints.
Well, that is quite interesting considering it's normally a one-stop soft to medium, but with the two-stop rule, you're never really going to see hards, even if you do get lap 1 damage. If you get lap 1 damage, it's just going to be soft, medium, medium, not a normal strategy, which I would expect to be a soft, medium, soft, but it doesn't seem like anyone's integrated the hards at the moment. It might just be what the game puts in the pits, just in general. It looks like everyone is either on the softs or the mediums.
Yeah, well, that's no surprise there. We've got Stevie Hart, Storm, and Jamie on the mediums. Everyone else opting the soft tyres. And, well, interestingly, we've already got 2 disqualifications in Billy and the Salty Bears. So they're going to have really cold tyres at the start of this race. Nikki, though, on pole position in this one. Car number 88 there. That's a really interesting number. I don't really know where the number 88 really is something, but you know, it's probably just Nicky's favourite number perhaps, but he is on pole position today. Of course, we have Gus Fring and Aaron GS, the 3 and only 3 race winners this season. Of course, Nicky taking 1, Aaron JS taking 1, and Gus Fring taking the rest. So let's just say for a minute that the Alfa Romeo has been a little bit greedy with the wins. However, he has at least shared a couple of wins, and let's not forget he was a very nice guy with Nicky's win, of course, because Nicky disconnected on what was a certain win before he did disconnect, came back, and Gus gave him to win, and that was just great sportsmanship, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But again, as I said earlier, I think they're going to want to have a nice fight today. Gus is going to be on the back foot a little bit because Nicky was so much quicker in qualifying, but I don't think that'll dampen the spirits of the Swiss man himself. And I think he's going to bring a great fight to Nicky as they're all just coming around the final couple of corners. We're going to get ready for the race start, Sam.
Yeah, we will get ready, and let's not count out those who have not won a race this season so far. We have seen Apex Rogue be up there at points, just not really had the luck, and same with Truth NRP. Zach Jarvis we don't really see too much, however, we might see some shocks and surprises today. It is Britain after all, it is one of those best tracks for overtaking sort of scenarios, and we could see a lot of battles into the first few corners. As we just wait for the lights now, here they are, 4 red lights, 5 red lights on right now. This British Grand Prix is underway. Who's got a good start at the back? It looks like one of the Williams has already pulled out ahead of a couple of cars. Nicky has had a disastrous start. He might be looking down to 3rd place right now. Aaron JS on the inside. Is he going to get the position up? There's a few yellow flags towards the back there. There's a Williams going a little bit wide, but Gus has got the best start out of them all. Nicky falling back to 2nd. Zach Jarvis has now got pressure on them. Now with Aaron JS, but I don't think that's going to cause anything. And I think we've already had our first commentator's curse of the day.
Yeah, it's Rogue being spun around. It looks like he had contact with Truth NRP, and unfortunately that just sent him into a spin on exit of, I can't remember the corner name, but it is just coming onto the Wellington straight. We've got side-by-side action further back behind, and there's a huge crash between Kingan and Alex Lilliard, both of them going off into the inside wall. Both of them, I assume, have massive damage, and that is really going to put a dampener on their race. Virtual safety car comes out.
Oh my god. Look at that. The full wings come off Kingan's car. What on earth happened there?
It just looked like on the exit of Luffield, they might have just gotten attached to each other. Maybe one of them lost the car, and it's so unfortunate. But I'm just going to use this virtual safety car to say something, because I forgot to during the formation lap. Of course, it's not all about the top 3 in the championship. There's the going gets tough awards. And what's happened? I'm
just saying, and he's got a 5-second penalty for it. Gus has rushed into the pits, and well, this is interesting then. Gus will have to serve that 5-second penalty. Would it be first time round? I'm pretty sure it is. It's a long pit stop, so I'm not going to stick on board. This is a really interesting strategy. A couple of guys have come into the pits, but that is probably down to wing damage. But Gus into the pits then, and well, he's favouring the soft medium strategy, and he's come in under the virtual safety car.
That might be a good strategy call from Gus, but that 5-second time penalty is going to pretty much undo everything once he has to serve it. you'd think maybe pitting under the virtual safety car would be a really good idea, but now he's pretty much lost all that time, so I think that he might not be in the best position when everyone else is going to be on the soft tyres. He'll be on slightly worn mediums. Meanwhile, Salty Bear also got held up, I believe, because he is right back with Alex Lilliart and Kingan too, and he pitted behind his teammate, which is not a good idea. So Gus is going to be a bit of a maverick this race. No one else seemed to have pitted, and aside from guys who have got damage, so it's going to be interesting to see where he ends up by the end of it.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't have gone for that decision. That was kind of a surprising one for me, as we just wait for Kingan and a Salty Bear to move out the way, obviously, but that was a really, really big surprise to me. I was not expecting that, simply because of the fact that the softs do not die out for a while, and secondly, of course, those softs are going to just be far quicker than the mediums. And not going to lie, you could probably do a soft-medium strategy here as well, if you wanted to. However, I'm really not sure about what the strategy is, but I think Gus this season, though, has had always a good call, and maybe this is another one.
Yeah, well, at this point, the softs are going to be a lot quicker than the mediums, so Nicky's probably going to make up the deficit that he would have lost, and we've got another car spinning off, and that's the other Williams of VRT Storm, so it looks like it's going to be a bad day at the office for both Williams drivers getting involved in early incidences, and unfortunately, might have just been he dropped it on by himself. It's a tricky traction zone going flat out through there, and he's overheated the rears, I think, and he spun the car again. So it's going to be a long way back to the pits for Storm if he wants to take off those tyres, which are surely going to be dead at this point.
Yeah, well, I'm sure he'll be looking to take off those tyres. Not much action going on, so it gives me and Daniel, obviously, the chance to obviously say thanks to One Hub Racing sponsors, Next Level Racing and Liam13. If you want to know what Next Level Racing does, of course, you can look on there on One Hub's website at onehub.com, or go just to One Hub's Twitter. They do advertise Next Level Racing well, or just go to at Next Level Racing, or just searching nextlevelracing.com as well, where you can find out what products they sell and what benefits you can get out of them. Liam, on the other hand, he provides One Hub the trophies and provides the funding for them, which helps them out a lot, and we say a big thanks to him. He was here earlier in the season, and now he's no longer here, but he's still raising his support for the league.
Absolutely, both of those sponsors do great work for them, so to make sure to check them out on Twitter and all of their links. I'm sure we've got them somewhere, just sporadically placed around, but I'm not really too sure. No, Kingan's out. Where's Kingan lost that?
Oh, he's lost out at the exit of Corps again. What are we going to get from that then? Yellow flag, set to 2 and set to 3, double waved yellow, so we could be looking at a safety car or virtual safety car. We hope not, because this looks like a good battle. Yellow flags is set to 2 again. Come on, no safety car, please. Can we not have a safety car? We do not have a safety car. We're still going to have this racing, and we're still going to have this sort of battle going on for 4th place right now, between Astronauty, and we've got yellow flags again. Who is that? That is Storm. Yeah, he's probably going to go into the pits and retire right now, or he's just going to have a little Sunday drive for the rest of the day. However, Astronaut's not got exactly the best exit, and now he could be a little bit under threat from Gazaman. Unlikely, but he may be coming back at Truth, you know. He's getting closer. Is he thinking about it? And no, he's not. He's just going to back out just for now. But at the moment, the Ferrari doing a good job. Gazaman into the pits.
Yeah, it might have been a bit of an early stop coming out from Gazaman. He might want to try and undercut everyone else ahead of him. But meanwhile, Astronaut, he lost actually a little bit coming through Magnus and Beckett's, and now he's just going to try and stick right onto the back of Truth NRP, get a good run through Sector 1 and 2, and that hasn't really happened. He had a bit of a correction coming out of turn number 1, might have lost him some time. The DRS is going to be so powerful around here, so we might have to see what Astronauty can do against Truth once they head onto the Wellington Straight. He got a bit of a worse off run through there than Truth did, Astronauty, but the DRS is going to bring him right back into that under the Armco they go, and he just can't find the an avenue by. He's just going to have to stick behind. I think into Stowe is going to be his best move to make against Truth.
Yeah, well, at the moment he's definitely looking for it. He fell back a little bit though. He went a bit wide out of the exit, maybe broke a little later, and of course the dirty air factor on this game is absolutely terrible sometimes. You'll just see through here, he just has to lift to make sure that he doesn't get some sort of warning or penalty, of course. Truth, I believe, has already received the penalty, but through Maggots and Beckets we go now, hitting the apex, Truth, pretty well. Astronauty, we cannot really say the same. However, he has got a decent exit, and he's got a decent run, you know. And is he going to make his move right now? He's closing in a little bit. Truth goes defensive, but it looks like Astronauty's just going to sit behind right now, and maybe just cause a little bit of pain for Truth. In fact, no, he's not. He's going to come into the pits.
Yeah, so I might have been wrong in saying it. Gazman came in a little bit early there, so he's going to come into the pits, and Aaron JS also making a stop on lap number 5 as we go on to 6 now. 2 Renaults running 3rd and 4th at the moment. Doesn't seem like there's too many battles going on track at the moment. There's a little bit of a scrap going on further back behind it. It seems that there's a Williams car getting lapped by Indecisive, that might have been. And yeah, Indecisive just getting ahead. He's in 10th position at the moment, of course, yet to pit the Haas car, but he's doing really well for himself, considering he's not had the best season so far. So, good job from Indecisive, I'd say.
Yeah, and Indecisive up to 9th place, and so yeah, like you said, that's a really good position for him to be in. He's not exactly had the season he would have wanted. Only 1 point this season. Everyone's got a point this season, which is good to see. But obviously that does not win you championships, which is quite sad to say. But obviously the main championship fight is over, but the second place in the championship is definitely not over right now. We've got 3 contenders, and well, it seems a little bit of a difficult one to pick, really, because Nicky has come alive.
Yeah, absolutely, but of course his battles to be fought on circuit at the moment, and the undercut has worked out for Gazman. He's right up to the rear of Astronaut. He lost a little bit of a time coming through the old final couple of corners, of course, now some of the earliest corners on the circuit, but he's still catching up to Astronaut. That DRS is going to reel him in and in again. I'm interested to see as Truth Anopy just comes into the pits, and Craig Senna also comes in right behind his teammate. Surely he's going to get held massively.
Oh, that may have been a silly lack of communication there for the Renault team. And, well, yeah, I believe he is going to get held up. He's going to be thinking right now that was not the smartest of moves. And there we go, getting held up then by his teammate, who's gone onto the hard tyres. That's an interesting choice.
Yeah, he probably could have made a soft, medium, soft work if he really wanted to. And we've got yellow flags coming through sector number 1. Who is that for? It might be for Storm. He's in the first sector and he's had a couple spins earlier this race. Doesn't seem like it's him, so that might have just been a bit of a visual glitch, and it didn't really mean anything. But here's Astronauty, who's actually made the undercut work as well, and he's going to go round by Truth NLP. They're going to be side by side. Who's going to get DRS is now they're going to go side by side onto the Wellington straight, where Truth had an incident with another car earlier, and it's Astronauty moving into 9th place. That is a provisional P4, I believe.
Well, yeah, and here we go. These two started to get very, very swifty at the moment. Then Truth, Gazman getting involved in this as well. So we've seen Gazman already in quite a few battles, and he's going to get in another one. We've got a safety car, and look who's just coming to the pits.
Nicky.
Wow, and wow. I wonder what tyres is he going to head on to? Will he try and make the soft medium work? Or soft, medium, soft, because he's gone onto the medium tyres. Wow, well, for Nicky, this is brilliant. For Gus, etc., it's not. And, well, I tell you who else probably is going to be liking this. Billy as well, he's just come into the pits. Is he going to be beating out the likes of Gus? I don't think he will. Gus is pitting? Wow. This is going to be a really, really interesting one to see.
Yeah, Gus is probably trying to use the safety car just to get a free pit stop in here. Service penalty as well, which he needs to do. But Nicky's come out in first place by an absolute mile. So, of course, that is all going to be taken away from him. But imagine if that was the actual gap that he had. What tyres is Gus going to go on to? He's getting held for 5 seconds. But it looks like they're going to put on the medium tyres, if I'm not mistaken, onto that Alfa Romeo. And yeah, pretty much everyone going onto the mediums. Zach Jarvis probably wouldn't be too happy that he put on the hards, but Stevie Hart also going onto the white wall tyres, so I'm a bit confused what they're doing. And whilst that will happen, clearly I've got a drive-through penalty for speeding on the safety car, and that just makes his day go from good to bad to worse.
Well, interestingly, we look at Craig Senna and Gus Fring. One going for the medium tyres, one going for the hards. Is Alex Lilia taking the second pen, or was that just his drive-through? That was his drive-through, wasn't it? So, Craig Senna is an interesting one. Oh no, Alex Lear has peered onto new tyres. Never mind.
Yeah.
So that is his second stop done. 30, 40 for 50 have done their second stop. Gus chooses the mediums, reckoning the mediums will go to the end. And interestingly, Senna and Lilliard go for the hard tyres. So mixed strategy from those two. No one else has made 2 stops yet. And well, this is basically just for Nicky and well for Gus as well at the back there. Gonna be how big is the gap gonna be for Nicky's next stop? And well, I'm gonna be honest with you, knowing how long this pit stop is, Nicky has got a lot of work.
Yeah, of course, some of the guys further back behind making their second pit stops. Alex Lilliard wasn't able to serve his drive-through penalty because, of course, it is under safety car, so you can't serve any penalties that isn't a stop. If it's a drive-through, you're just going to have to wait until green, which I think is going to be a little bit of a kick for him. But Gus really going to be in a good position. Gus, Craig as well. Craig pretty much been saved by the safety car here because of him pitting right behind his teammate. So much time. Now we've made 2 pit stops. I think the mediums could have gone to the end for these guys. We're going to spend at least 1 more lap. Probably 2 actually at this rate because Alex Lilliard is so far behind. So I would think that the mediums could definitely go to the end being on a safety car.
Yeah, well, we do have the opportunity. If Senna wanted to pit really this lap, he probably did have the opportunity. And he wouldn't have exactly had to be behind Alex Lilliard for too long because, of course, of the drive-through penalty, which he cannot serve, but he's at the back of the field now. He is assuming that the hards are the best tyres to go for. Gus is assuming the other yellow wall tyres. However, interestingly, everyone else has to make that second stop. And more interestingly, most of those on their first stop are on the same tyres as Gus.
Yeah, so really it's all just fallen into place for Gus at this point, and he's served his penalty. He's not got to worry about that at all this race. Of course, once they get to the end, Gus probably won't be pitting again. Nicky has got a lot of a buffer to Gus at the moment. At this point in time, it is 7 seconds. He could just use that to extend it as much as possible. Pitting probably won't hurt him too much. And Gus is going to be navigating past a lot of drivers ahead of him that he has outclassed this season. So I don't think that it is completely out of the water. I don't think he's completely in a safe win, Gus. But I don't think it'll be too difficult for him at this point.
Well, really, he's just got to keep it on track, and we've never really seen Gus in this position. We've never seen him towards the back of the field. We do know he is a good driver, and uh-oh, we know what that probably means. That means we're probably going to have the glitch, are we? Have we not had the glitch? Oh my goodness, we've not had the glitch, Daniel. Thank God for that. Anyway, so Nicky is going to be restarting as the safety car comes in this lap. And getting us underway will be the Ferrari, and then behind him, Aaron GS. When does Nicky go? He goes into the final 2 corners. He's not gone just yet. It's going to be the exit this corner, I reckon. And there we go, underway once again for this British Grand Prix. He's got it well. Aaron JS has not got it well, and Astronauty has not got it well either. Stevie Hart has not got it right at all. He's out of this race. I don't know what's happened to him, but well, that would have been interesting, to say the least.
And already Gus trying to make moves, and they're 3 wide as Craig's going to go up the inside. There might have been a little bit of contact with Gus there, and it's all kind of turned a car park. Craig has tried to send it 3 wide up the inside. That was a bit of a too aggressive move, and it kind of caused a bit of a calamity there. So I don't know if Craig is going to get sent to the stewards for that. But all I know is that he's got past Gus. Don't know if anyone got damage and all of that, but really it's going to lose them a whole bunch of time. Look at how much they have already lost to Rogue and Jamie Met, and all the guys up ahead of them. It was a bit of a ambitious move, to say the least.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure about that one. I didn't quite see it, but you saw it, of course, and you don't think it was the best of ones. Craig Senna, though, causing a little bit of issues there. He has no stops to go, so at the moment, technically speaking, he is in the lead of this race, and oh my goodness, he's all over the place at the moment. He may even lose a position to a Salty Bear here, who's going to be on the attack for the Renault driver. Is the Renault driver going to get away? Yes, he will, but I think Gus now has got a good appeal to say that he's now going to get away from everyone else.
Yeah, well, being on the hard tyres is not going to help Craig. It's going to just give the medium runners behind. So that's Salty Bear's been on the tyres for 7 laps. He hasn't made a second pit stop. I thought he'd made his second pit stop already, but of course that isn't the case now. So he's going to have to have a little bit of a wind down time, just try and save up those tyres as much as possible. Not really sure if there's too many fights going on at the moment. As I say that, Truth NRP is quite close to Astronauty. This is for 3rd position at the moment, and here comes Truth, no DRS now, and he's going to try and go a bit late around the outside, and he couldn't make it. There was no gap there, and he probably would have been better just going for the inside, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was just a bit late there from Truth, of course, trying to move to the outside. Astronaut, you saw it coming, and well, it's still 4th place for the Renault driver. He will go again, I reckon. We're in a bit of a slipstream train here, which will, of course, eventually become a DRS train. A Salty Bear struggling to get by, so we're not going to go with him at the moment, because this looks like a really entertaining battle. Billy, though, looking just behind, looking to get into 4th or 3rd position here. How's his exit? His exit's not been the most positive. He's already drained over all his overtake, but no one really making moves just now. Looking further back, there's no moves looking exciting enough to really go over to them, but no one making moves at the moment. And well, like I said, DRS trades incoming. Nicky setting the fastest lap. He's on fire at the moment, I must say. He's looking to get this well underway. And DRS now enabled. He's 2 seconds clear of Aaron GS. 2 seconds clear furthermore of Astronauty, who's now ahead of these guys in this train. Looking at the gap to the leader between him and Gus, is still under 10 seconds.
Yeah, right now Gus is just trying to navigate past Jamie Metten. Jamie Met did a really good job of defending the Alfa Romeo car coming through the 1st sector on the DRS straight of the Wellington straight. Of course, one of 2 DRS straights. It used to be 3, but of course they changed that for the 2019 season. It's an easy overtake for Gus. He moves up into 9th position, and now he's got a little bit of clear air in front of him, so his charge is going to continue here. But Nicky absolutely dominating out in front, and I don't expect that to be challenged anytime soon until Gus gets his way through the field.
Well, yeah, and Gus looking very quick. He must have been a little bit, he knew what he needed to do, and he's doing that at the moment. He's had a little bit of hiccups with, of course, Craig Senna. There's been an incident through sector 2. That's Billy. He's gone off. Where has he lost it? He's lost it in a very awkward place. Where is he going to come back on? Oh, that was a almighty bump there. He went over, but he's come back out in 12th. No problem with his re-entry to the track. He's just going to weave a little bit. Just to... Oh, who's that now? Is that... That's not a Salty Bear, is it?
That is a Salty Bear, but that was not his fault. He went for a nice move, trying to go up the inside, and Craig left him absolutely no space at the end. That was a quite ridiculous move from my point of view, of course. I'm pretty sure that is going to go to the stewards, because that is so unfortunate for a Salty Bear. He had a fair chance at an overtake, and he just got completely swiped coming into Stowe corner there. So yeah, really unlucky for him. I'm not sure he'll be too happy with Craig after the race.
Yeah, well, I missed that one again, but you definitely saw it, which is good to see, of course. But if it is the case that he's showing a bit of dirtiness right now, he would want a stop immediately, I must say. However, Truth, NRP and Astronaut is the main battle on track. We've got Zach Jarvis as well behind Gazaman, who we'll have to keep a track on. Speaking of Gazaman, he's just got a 3-second time penalty as soon as I said that. However, let's just have a look through Maggots and Beckett's. Who's going to get the better exit? Gazaman taking a wider line in the entry. Zach Jarvis taking a wider line in the exit. Which one's worked better here? And it looks like Zach Jarvis is looking to make the overtaking move. He switches it off knowing that the move is not there, and he's lost a lot of time then through Stowe. What about Truth NLP? Again, similar, no real moves done. Looking further back, there's a bit of a train now started to pick up behind Gazaman, and you know what? Gus is in that one.
Yeah, well, being in a DRS train is going to make it pretty difficult for Gus to actually find an avenue to overtake, but he'll find a way. Is he going to send it on rogue through here? No. Through going to hang back a little bit, and he could actually got the inside here. Not a place you'd normally see an overtake, but he finds a way past, and he's made the move work, but they're still going to go side by side on exit now, running it through flat out onto the Wellington straight. They've both got DRS. Who's going to get the slipstream off of Zach Jarvis up ahead? And I think it is Gus, just moving ahead, and he has made the move stick on a Rogue, so that's 7th place, and now his next victim, so to say, is going to be Zach Jarvis up ahead on the hard tyres. Going to be a big pace difference between those two.
Yeah, well, Zach Jarvis obviously 4th place on the grid. That's where he started. Now he has to make one more pit stop. Gus doesn't have to make a pit stop. However, Zach Jarvis, I'm sure, will be defending quite aggressively, of course. Hopefully, though, cleanly, of course, as well. But he looks pretty good through here. Gus, though, just taking Magnussen Beckett's fine, and he's got the DRS open. Much better grip off the exit. And how is this going to work then? He's getting closer to the McLaren. The McLaren holding the middle of the track. Gus looks to the inside. Has he got it fully done? He's half got it done, but very good for Zach Jarvis. Didn't squeeze him, left him enough room, and well, Gus just didn't get the move done, but he's definitely getting closer. But I mean, the more Gazzaman fails to get away from Zach Jarvis, the more this really helps the McLaren, unless Gus Fring can get the move done. As we look through turn 1 and 2, Gus goes a little bit more wide, loses him a little bit of time. Is he looking for the move down the inside? No, he's not. He's looking to maybe look for it here, though. He's got so much more grip and pace. To the inside he goes. This time, not that much space given from Zach Jarvis. However, I think that is just fine there. It's a late lunge from Gus, but here he goes again. DRS open for both of them. Is he going to look down the inside this time? Yes, he does this time. And once again, a little bit of a squeeze there from the McLaren. It's just fine. But to the outside goes Gus. Has he got the better exit? He's got the better tyres. Should have the better traction. But Zach just keeps ahead. Said about how aggressive he'll be. Here we go again. Side by side through Cops. But I think this time, Gus has to move a little bit of a tap there. But luckily, Zach isn't sent flying. He could be sent flying back, though, into another position there. And he's just telling them, no, you don't. You're not going up my inside this time. But he's all over the place, Zach Jarvis. And, well, Gus, that was a really mighty battle right there.
Yeah, incredible. Almost for an entire lap, and now it's just going to be an easy overtake for Gus up the inside of Gazzaman. But really, I'm going to give props to Zach Jarvis there for that defensive driving. He left him hardly any room, but just enough so that he could defend and be clean at the same time. It's incredible performance from the two of them, being on the hard tyres as well. Really not easy to do. So I do commend both of the drivers for having such a clean fight. And if we're going to have sort of a competition about best overtakes, I think that entire battle could be a contender for it.
Yeah, that was a really strong contender. Now we've got Apex Rogue. Oh, looking for a move on Zach Jarvis. Well, not looking for a move, but looking to just close in on him. And he's almost losing the car at the exits of corners. Zach is in the same light, though. However, I think at the moment, that's just sticking behind Gazzaman, who seems to be struggling quite a bit. Has he got a bit of wing damage? It doesn't look like it, but well, he seems to be struggling at the moment.
Yeah, he's not looking at his very best, and he's going to be under pressure soon from the car behind, so could be in a bit of... We're just going to have to see as the laps progress how he can defend from the two cars behind him, and it will be tough for him, but I think he can get some defence out of those tyres.
Yeah, well, the mediums should technically still be better than the hard tyres. However, as it stands, Zach is doing a better job on those hards. However, the overtake on, he is going to have the higher revs as well. Is he going to get the move to the inside? Here he goes to the inside. Squeezes Gazzaman, but just enough to leave him enough room. And there goes Zach Jarvis. And I tell you what, Gazzaman does not like those medium tyres. Into the pits he goes. And well, so does Nicky and Aaron. So now we're going to see some interesting things. Are they onto the sauce? Nicky's onto the sauce. I don't know about Aaron, but Aaron we will see a little later. There we go. So they are going on to their final run. But has this safety car ruined their race? And has it just caused another Gus Fring win?
Well, only time will tell, but it's going to be so difficult for these to get back up the order. If this was a shorter pit lane, I think they could definitely still be in a fight, but it is just how the track is designed. It's such a long pit lane, and really is unfortunate. You know, you're going to be so slow for such a long time in the pit lane, and you lose about 30 seconds or so. See the gap, 21 seconds to Astronauty. So that's going to be about 19 to Gus. Because, yeah, well, obviously, you know why with everything that's happening. Sorry, I just got a notification. I will put that away. It kind of distracted me. Nicky, I doubt he'll take the win today, being so far behind. Got too much time to catch up to Gus and get past him, especially since it's one thing to get past, to catch up, and nothing to get by. So, speaking about getting by, Gus goes up the inside, and around the outside, and so does Rogue before the corner even comes. And I think Zach is going to begin to struggle with those hard tyres, not going to be as quick as the mediums at this point in the race.
Yeah, and Astronaut, he does pit now, so Gus into the lead of this race. We haven't seen him into the lead that often so far in this race, but he's into the lead now, and well, now it's the time to fly, really. You've got Truth NRP behind, who is one of the contenders for second place. However, he still has to pit. Astronaut pits onto softs. He could be an interesting factor. Has he outdone Nicky? No, he has not. And no, he hasn't outdone Nicky. And he shouldn't have outdone Aaron JS either. No, he hasn't. So, right now, it looks like it's going to be Gus, Nicky, and Aaron. But, well, I must say it's kind of sad, isn't it, really? Because Nicky was really looking quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to consider at the moment, actually, if Nicky hadn't been so plagued with bad luck this season, with all of his disconnect going on, and he's had incidences and it's just pure bad luck. I wonder if he could have been a true championship contender for Gus, and he did miss a couple of races as well. Don't forget one of those, he did serve a race ban, of course. But I think Nicky definitely has the pace to keep up with Gus. Those two are pretty much two sides of the same coin. They are so similar to each other, and I think we could have seen a championship hunt from Nicky, of course. So unfortunately he couldn't have, and this really is just a show of how bad his luck really has been.
Yeah, well, it feels bad for. I feel bad for Nicky, but he's going to be looking just to slice through the field, get through as many cars as possible. Billy gives him the heads up and just lets him through to keep pressurising. And here we go. We've seen this guy before, Craig Senna, and you know you've not been a big fan of him today, so. We'll just have to wait and see then. Nicky setting the fastest lap at 27.0. We're very close to the 26s now. And I tell you something now, Nicky has had really good pace tonight. It's been very, very unfortunate, I must say, though, with the strategy. But Nicky closing in on what seems to be a driver that none of us seem to like, really. But he comes through, and this should be a nice, easy move past the Renault driver. And there we go. Craig Senna not even thinking about defending. Well, he's thinking about coming back, but I don't think that is going to be happening. But at the moment, Gus leading the way, not getting too far away from Truth NRP in second place. It's around a second, but if Truth could just keep here, this will get him closer in. These two, well, Gus doesn't have to pit, Truth does have to pit. However, we could be seeing some sort of teammate work, but I don't think Craig is in this battle, despite making 2 stops already. But he could be one of the drivers who's looking to get that podium. Apex Rogue stays out, but right now no real battles on track. Can you find any? Because I can't find much.
There's nothing really going on at this point. It seems like we've kind of hit a stalemate. But as Truth comes into the pits, that's going to allow for Nicky to make up a position. I think the win is probably not on the cards at the moment, as he puts in another fastest lap of 26.8.
Wow.
It really is a true show of his pace. How far is he back? He's 15.2 seconds back from Gus, with only 7 laps to go. I don't think he'll be catching enough to make an overtake, but definitely Zach Jarvis and APX Rogue, of course. I believe that one of them has to come into both of them actually have to come. So throw that all out the window. I was going to say maybe he could catch up to those guys and then fight them for the final spots on the podium. They still have to pit, so it's just going to be clear air between Gus and Nicky once those two come to the pits, and Nicky will be on the charge.
Yeah, well, I'm just having a look at Aaron's best time. Nicky is just unmatched, isn't he? He's got a 26.8 here. Aaron on the softs, same lap old softs and everything. He's 3 tenths behind him, so at the moment, Nicky just looks very quick. It's very unfortunate. That would be Gazaman in the grass right now. And look at him coming back onto the grass. And he's lost a couple position, lost a lot of time. But he'll have to just go again and see how he does. No real gaps, no real battles going on track. And we won't see one from Nicky anytime soon because Zach Jarvis and Rogue have decided to pit. What about Aaron JS? He has closed in considerably a lot to Craig in front of him, and I reckon this may be the next lap he'll be breaking into DRS point because he's been closing considerably quickly.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's just going to keep bringing that gap down. It's 2.2 at the moment. I'd expect probably by the hangar straight he will be right up to him, probably within a second. That is all depending on how he takes this next lap or so, as we've got the final pit stoppers coming in, aside from Indecisive, who's yet to make his second stop. I really hope he's remembered to make the second stop, but and I'm really hoping that being in the points paying position is not going to blind him from the fact that he still has to make a stop. So I am keeping my fingers crossed for him, so that he doesn't get disqualified. Of course, that happened to, as he was known as then, Cloudy, all the way back in Belgium. He got a podium, made one stop, and he got disqualified. It was so unfortunate.
He's probably just like hugging like his points right now and just saying, these points are mine. I don't care about this like 2-stop rule. These points are mine and they're staying mine right now. He's like one of those people who's just overprotective about something, and that is what he wants in Decisive. However, I think really this whole two-stop rule could rule him out completely of that podium. It looks like Gus Ring is going to be winning this race, and it looks like Aaron JS is going to be the next battle on the track as he closes in on Craig Senna up ahead, and Craig Senna really struggling on those hard tyres. He's lost around 8 seconds to Nicky now, and well, he's losing even more time really to the lead, and it's been a bit of an upsy-downsy sort of day really for the Renault driver. He's on for a podium, or on for at least a top 5 finish, but he's not exactly had the most greatest of days in terms of incidents. Yeah,
of course, he made a pretty reckless move earlier on in the Grand Prix, and hopefully he doesn't try and harm anything here coming now into Brooklands. And yeah, he's not going to try and fight Aaron JS too hard, which is good to see. Got quite a nice gap back to Astronauty, so I think P4 in his debut is going to be a good day at the office for him. But of course, the incident with the Salty Bear, from what I'm seeing, it really did just not look like the cleanest defences. You know, a Salty Bear had a chance to overtake, and he pretty much was just robbed in broad daylight. So yeah, it was a performance from Craig, though, nevertheless. But of course, that is going to be a bit of a blemish on his end of term report card once it comes. You know, he's going to might be sent to the stewards by the end of the race.
Yeah, and well, he is losing a substantial amount of time to those ahead now. Craig Senna losing a lot of time. That is because he's on the hard tyres compared to the soft tyres. However, Truth NRP closing in on Astronauty up ahead. Zach Jarvis closing in on Apex Rogue. Let's just have a look at this. This further back seems to be a little bit closer to between, well, for this battle anyway. But Zach Jarvis right now in 8th place, 6 tenths behind. Apex Rogue to the outside. Sorry, Zach Jarvis went a little bit wide, and that is a 3-second penalty for that. But that still doesn't stop this from potentially having a battle of some sort. There's no DRS though for Apex Rogue, but it will be, of course, for Zach Jarvis, unless he's had, of course, that DRS failure. And look at his corner taking a tighter line. Zach Jarvis, he knows he's got the pace here to get past Apex Rogue. When's he going to do it? I don't think it's going to be here. He's going to close in, but I think the strike is definitely coming soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just noticing that the clouds are actually beginning to form up ahead, and that will probably mean that the temperatures will come down. And I think that's going to benefit guys like Craig and Gus, who are going to be at this point probably nursing their tyres a little bit. They're way past their prime, unlike Nicky and Aaron and all the guys on the softs. So it could be a bit of a struggle getting to the end, but this is pretty much a blessing for them. The lower temperatures has all kind of fallen into place for Gus today, almost. Of course, he can make it to the end on these tyres, but it wouldn't be an easy job, and he's got a nice big gap back to Nicky. But you know, it's just a little bit something extra, a little bit of a, hey, you've done really well this season, here's a little treat, have some cooler temperatures.
Yeah, let's have some cooler temperatures, which mean your tyres will be fine and easily make it to the end of the race, since they will not be completely exploding towards the end. And obviously he's got that now, and I'm pretty sure Gus Fring is on for winning this race. I believe he got rid of that 5-second penalty, so obviously that won't play to effect. And it looks like, well, going through the trend of the season, he doesn't pick up many penalties at all, so it looks like we are set for another Gus Fring win. Zach Jarvis just dipping his tyre in the grass there, losing him valuable time. He wants to get that 7th place, but doing stuff like that does not help his cause in any way whatsoever. He is closed in a little bit though on the Alpha Tauri though of Apex Rogue, and Zach Jarvis still trying to find a way to get close enough to make a move.
I have seen Zach. Sorry, I was just, I didn't know that you were going to say something there, but I have seen on popping up with the penalties today, so he might lose a position to Billy, depending on how many penalties he's gotten. So it could be a bit of a thorn in Zach's side, but he might just want to get it done on circuit so that he can be nice. He can just be proud of himself for getting by. But with 2 laps to go left in this Grand Prix, it's almost looking certain at this point. Nicky's not going to make up for 8.5 seconds, is he?
Yeah, well, I had a message there from Dane Star asking if I had a bit of a cold. Yeah, I do unfortunately have a bit of a cold. It's a bit of a nuisance at the moment, and it's caused my voice just to go a little bit, but, you know, less about that, more about this. We are on to the penultimate lap of this race then. 2 more laps to go to decide whether Zach Jarvis can make up to 7th, and whether Nicky can close in enough, but... well, it doesn't look likely, does it? 8 seconds behind. I don't think you can make 8 seconds in 2 laps unless, of course, Gus has a rather major mistake. But, you know, commentator's curse has definitely been a treat this season, I must say. But it's not exactly been a treat when it's come to Gus, because I don't think we've ever really commentators cursed him for anything, well, that has been deliberately happening. With what happened in Canada, that was actually voluntary, and he obviously gave Nicky the win through that way. So... I mean, the commentator's curse is an absolute treat, but everyone's pitted twice, as Jess asked if everyone has pitted twice, and yes they have, so we should be now fine for the line. Zach Jarvis just falling back even more now, so this has just not worked out for the McLaren driver, as he's now 8/10 behind Apex Rogue, and just closing in a little bit again, but just not closing in enough, is he?
No, he's just... It's a bit of a yo-yo between these two. He seems to get really close sometimes, and then a bit distant at other times, so it's quite unfortunate for him. He's probably not going to get the move coming on to the final lap of the race, and with his amount of penalties that I have seen pop up, I don't think we should look at all of the penalties for everyone, because that could really spoil a surprise. But yeah, unfortunate for Zach Jarvis that he's just not been able to get the car beneath him and dig his heels into the ground and really make a charge up like a bull, but of course this time driving a McLaren. So open the DRS on the Wellington Straight for the final time. You can see he's just not close enough, and Rogue doesn't even have to use his ERS to even pull away. He's just that much better through the corners, I think. I think he might be running a little bit more downforce, and he's going to be better through the corners than Zach, who's got a more top speed setup.
Yeah, well, you can see how much Zach is trying to close in with Rogue. It's not working though, unfortunately, at the moment. 6/10 off. We just need to document the race win. It's unsurprising. We've seen it so many times this season, but he's taken his 7th win of the season. It's Gus Fring in the Alfa Romeo, and he's won it by quite a convincing fashion. Nicky comes home in 2nd place. Aaron JS then comes through the final corner to finish 3rd. The top 3 all won a race. And well, this is an interesting one. Astronauty, 1 more lap, and that is P4 for you. But unfortunately, it's not. It's going to be P5 unless penalties. And well, penalties has played its toll. And Astronauty finishes 4th. Craig Senna in 5th. Truth in 6th, but he's moved down to 7th there. And now in 8th, you've got Billy in 8th, coming through the final few corners. Should be 8th position. Unless penalties, which could give Jamie Met that position. And well, he's got another penalty on the final corner, so that sent Billy right down to 10th place. And a salty pair coming across the corner. He gets a 3-second penalty, and well, he's got a point in a very peculiar style. Finishes P10, and Billy must have received tons of penalties because he's even moving down below Alex Lilia, who obviously has finished across the line way later than anyone else. Here comes Indecisive. Maybe he was a little bit happy that perhaps he could get points, but I don't think it's turned out that way, and unfortunately he's the last guy across the line. And well, interesting, but Stevie Hart is saying that Zach Jarvis was low on fuel. Zach Jarvis didn't finish the race.
Yeah, no, he crashed out, I think.
Did he?
I think he lost it through Maggots and Beckett. I wasn't watching him. I was trying to see if Astronauti could find a way past Craig Senna, and eventually did on penalties. So I didn't actually see what happened to Zach, but he seemed way off the circuit. So I don't know if he lost the car, or maybe he just had no fuel and then decided to retire, but I don't know why you would... I'm not too sure. There might be something in the chat, in the PSN chat that I could see, if it is anything to do with a crash or something from him. So I'll just give me a minute on that.
Well, it looks like Stevie Hart is saying he's lost, he's ran out of fuel, but Zach Jarvis has just confirmed now himself that no, he didn't run out of fuel. He just lost the car, and you know, he had a smacking race, didn't he? Really, Zach Jarvis. So that was very unfortunate, really. In the end, didn't get what he wanted. However, it is the end of this British Grand Prix, and I tell you something now. We go to Driver of the Day, and there's a lot of different candidates. Who are you going for?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to give mine to Gus, just because it was looking unlikely with the 5-second time penalty, but even though he was lucky, he still had to make some hard work to overtake. So my question to him will be, when you got the 5-second time penalty, did you think it was game over? And did you actually expect to come through the field and win by a nice, sizable 5 seconds to nick you behind? So that is my question to Gus.
Yeah, and my Driver of the Day then goes to Astronaut, who finishes P4 in the end. In my opinion, just had a clean race, a good race, and well, a strong race. And well, my question to him is, did that race feel really, really good? We haven't really seen you too much this season, and well, missing out on the podium by around 5 seconds. Do you wish that perhaps you could have pushed a little bit more and got that podium? So that is my question to Astronaut, and with that, we can wrap up the stream now, Daniel. But one last thing we just need to note, it is the final race of the season, round 10 at Vietnam next week here in the One Hub Prospect Tier Championship. And we do know, obviously, of course, that the championship is wrapped up. However, there are still a few things yet to decide. I think the constructors now are wrapped up, but everything is still into play for. But next week we will be back again at Vietnam for the Vietnamese Grand Prix in Hanoi. I've been Sam, I've been your commentator, and I've been alongside Daniel as well, and we will see you soon. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep, and with that we will end the stream here, and obviously I ended it quite prematurely, but now we can finally end it. So see you next week in Hanoi for the Vietnamese Grand Prix.